could be a better subject matter for this train.
The name we now have, and with His Honour's permission, these chambers have now been called William Foster Chambers. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you all Sir William Foster, and I ask him to declare William Foster Chambers open. Ladies and gentlemen.
Your Honour the Chief Justice, Your Honours, and any worship it might be here, but I can't see one. Your Worship. And members of and ladies and gentlemen. First, let me say what a great honour this is for me, and how much I appreciate that honour of having these rooms, chambers named after me. I would also like to say, before I forget, how grateful I am to the bar for bringing me up here so that I can meet so many old friends. Practically everyone in this room falls into that class, I would think. Yes, almost. This was it when I arrived in June 1971, which also seems a year or two ago now. I met a enthusiastic, trusting, vigorous profession, all of whom, or most of whom, behaved very well, and almost all of whom were a good deal more competent than I had any right to expect. And I pay great tribute to Crewe Wharton Blackburn, and I'm very proud to join their number in having these chambers named after me. Barristers and judges need to have a certain grasp of the language and a certain ease and facility in its use. It's their job, after all, to explain things to people. Now, consider for a moment the case of my youngest granddaughter, Rose. She's a gorgeous little creature, of course, but she was slow to speak. She was intelligent enough and she could hear quite well, but nothing occurred to her as being worthwhile saying, I can only think. But it did seem to me and to her parents that perhaps a career at the bar might be denied to her. Because although some barristers of my acquaintance, none of whom in this room, might be thought to be a bit dumb, they all managed to speak and say something when they were on their feet. But Rose wouldn't speak at all. She managed all that she required by biting ankles and grabbing things and pointing at them, and there was not really any need to speak at all. However, the other day she and I were walking in the park which adjoins the back of my house in Adelaide. I have to say that what I'm about to tell you has a certain indelicacy about it, and I apologise in advance. But she, while we were walking along hand in hand, looking for the duckies, she, I could only use the slang which was familiar to me about 60 years ago in the fourth form. She let one rip. She turned to me with a beatific smile on her face and said, "Fart." These are the first words she's uttered. This was about 3 weeks ago. She hasn't found much to speak about since. But her further remarks are awaited with anticipation. It's been a separate bar for some time. I thought it would work here, and of course it did. It was always of great interest to me to see people develop at the bar. People of any real quality developed almost before your eyes because they were constantly in court and taking up things at relatively short notice and doing things of that sort. One or two people, I'm sad to say, disappeared without trace, but mostly all those people who took to the bar did develop well. And it's been, I would say, an immense success. One of the main reasons why the bar's been an immense success, I think, in fact I'm sure, I mean, if I say I'm sure about something, you lot are better not disagree with me, lies in the quality of the leaders from time to time of the bar, going back to the beginning, and some of you won't even know who I'm talking about. Dick Ward and Ian Barker, and followed by Michael Maurice and Mildred and Tom Pauling. And because of the personality and capacity of those people, very largely the bar succeeded as it has done. And I'm very proud that my name is going to be associated with the later development of the bar. There'll be a time, mind you, in about sort of 2 years' time, I suppose, and people will come to this building and say, who's he? I can't do anything about that. It's just unfortunate. That was one criterion, and the other was that they should only be appointed if their capacity and their character and their ability and all those things warranted it, to the extent that they would be appointed without comment in Sydney or in Melbourne, or with, if not without comment, with approbation. Now, the first two met those two criteria with ease, and they were once again Dick Ward and Barker. And after that, I had great pleasure in being personally involved in the appointment of Maurice and Mildred and Pauling and Martin. I may not have them in their right order, and I apologise if I haven't. And now I'm particularly pleased that my old friend Harvey has been appointed, and had I still been here, I would have had something to do with that appointment also. Because I've dealt with this all in what for me is rather a jokey way, and you've been kind enough to laugh occasionally, I'm very anxious that you shouldn't think that I regard this, what we're doing here this afternoon and what's been done, as the least bit jokey. For me, it's the most important and solemn thing that's happened to me, and I suppose, apart from being knighted, which herself claims to have something to do with it, this is one of the most gratifying things that's ever occurred to me. Here I am, 60 whatever it is years old, and I'm very grateful indeed to the bar for doing me the honour of permitting these chambers to be named after me. Because herself's not here to stop me. But I've always, since I've been here, felt that a mutual bond of trust and respect and friendship existed between me and the members of the practicing profession in the Northern Territory. This, naming these chambers after me, is a further manifestation of what I feel to have existed, and I'm very grateful indeed. I have much pleasure now in opening these chambers or declaring them open, and I wish all those who may work here now, and even those who don't, occupy rooms here. The greatest good fortune, both personally and professionally, and I have much pleasure in sharing these chambers.